What would you do if the very people you called family set fire to your dreams? Sam's life seems perfect when Officer Lee gifted her a beautiful farm, a symbol of love and hope. But envy twisted her stepmother's heart, driving her and her daughter into a dark plan of betrayal. On a moonlit night, they poured gasoline, lit the match, and turned Sam's sanctuary into an inferno. As flames devoured her dream, heartbreak gave birth to determination. This is not just a story of loss, it's one of courage. Subscribe now and follow the journey. Sam could hardly believe her eyes when she first set foot on the farm that Lee had bought for her. Stretching as far as she could see, fields of golden grass rippled under the soft caress of the wind, while rows of fruit trees stood proudly in perfect lines, their leaves shimmering like emeralds beneath the afternoon sun. Beyond the fields, a small wooden house with a red tiled roof stood nestled against a backdrop of hills, smoke gently curling from its chimney as though it were already welcoming her home. It was more than just a farm. It was a dream wrapped in reality, a place where she could finally plant roots and build a future with the man she loved. For Sam, this gift was not just land and property, it was a promise. Lee, with his quiet strength and unwavering dedication, had spent months searching for a place that would reflect her deepest wishes. He knew how often she spoke about living close to nature, about tending animals, about walking barefoot on dew-kissed grass at dawn. And now, standing in the middle of this breathtaking gift, Sam's eyes brimmed with tears of gratitude. Her heart swelled with affection not only for the beauty surrounding her, but also for the love and care hidden behind every detail Lee had chosen. Yet, while Sam's heart overflowed with joy, not everyone shared in her happiness. Watching from afar, her stepmother felt a surge of bitterness arise within her. To her, every smile that Sam wore was a thorn, every token of love from Lee a reminder of what her own daughter did not have. In her mind, Sam had always been the outsider, the unwanted presence in the family. And now, seeing Sam rise above with such fortune and love, she felt the weight of envy pressing down like an iron chain. She had convinced herself that her own daughter deserved such blessings, not Sam. The stepmother's resentment, once buried and disguised behind polite words, began to fester and grow in the shadow of Sam's newfound joy. Every glance toward the farm reminded her of what she lacked, of the cruel imbalance of fate. Where Sam saw a place of beginnings, the stepmother saw an insult carved into the earth, a monument to everything she despised. From that moment, joy and envy clashed violently in silence, setting the stage for the storm that was destined to come. One evening, when the town was alive with music and laughter from a small harvest celebration, Sam and Lee were away, unaware of the shadows gathering at their doorstep. The farm, usually so alive with gentle sounds of animals and rustling leaves, fell into an eerie stillness. Under the pale light of the moon, two figures approached cautiously, Sam's stepmother and her daughter. Their faces, half lit by the silver glow, bore an unsettling intensity, eyes gleaming with envy and something darker. The stepmother's voice was a low hiss as she surveyed the barns and fields. "Look at all this, all because of him. Does she deserve it? No. She's taken everything that should have belonged to you." Her words dripped with venom, each syllable carefully aimed at igniting the bitterness already rooted in her daughter's heart. The younger woman, though nervous, clenched her fists tightly, her lips trembling not with fear but with frustration. She had long wished to step into Sam's place, to be the one Lee adored, to feel the warmth of his love and his sacrifices. Yet here she was, standing in the cold, watching another woman bask in the blessing she craved. From her cloak, the stepmother pulled out a worn canister filled with gasoline, the faint smell of fuel immediately tainting the crisp night air. Her daughter's eyes widened, but rather than stepping back, she stepped closer, curiosity mingling with hunger for destruction. "If this place burns," her mother whispered, "she will lose everything. No farm, no pride, no future to flaunt. And when she's broken, when she has nothing left, Lee will have no choice but to turn his eyes elsewhere." The suggestion hung in the air, intoxicating, dangerous. Together they began to move, silent as predators circling prey. The stepmother sprinkled gasoline along the wooden walls of the barn, her daughter following with hesitant yet eager steps, striking matches in her mind before even holding them in her hand. The animals shifted restlessly, sensing the malice that lingered in the night, their low cries echoing across the fields like an unspoken warning. The moon slipped behind a cloud, as though even the heavens recoiled from the act about to unfold, yet neither woman faltered. What began as envy had now hardened into resolve. They were ready to strike, ready to turn Sam's dream into ash, blind to the consequences, death to the cries of innocence. The farm that symbolized love and hope was moments away from being marked by fire and betrayal. The first flicker of flame began as a small tongue of light licking at the wood, almost delicate in its birth. But within moments, it grew ravenous, feeding greedily on the dry timber of the barn and racing along the trails of gasoline with terrifying speed. The night air, once calm and cool, filled with the crackle of fire and the acrid scent of smoke. Shadows danced wildly across the fields as the blaze spread, devouring everything in its path. The animals shrieked in panic, horses kicking at their stalls, cows bellowing in fear, chickens scattering in a frenzy of wings. The peaceful farm, once a sanctuary of love and hope, had turned into a nightmare of chaos. Far away in town, Sam and Lee were just leaving the celebration when a strange orange glow on the horizon caught their eyes. Sam froze, her heart clenching. She knew that direction. She knew it too well. "The farm," she whispered, her voice breaking with terror. Without hesitation, Lee grabbed her hand and together they raced back, his grip firm and urgent, as though sheer speed could undo what they both feared. By the time they arrived, the sight that greeted them was enough to tear the breath from their lungs. Flames towered into the night sky, painting it with furious strokes of red and gold. Smoke rolled thick and suffocating, stinging their eyes and throats. Sam fell to her knees, tears streaming down her face as she watched her dream collapse into fire. She had imagined mornings filled with laughter and evenings wrapped in serenity here. But now all she could hear were the desperate cries of animals and the roar of destruction. Lee pulled her close, shielding her from the heat, his own jaw clenched in helpless fury. For a moment, he wanted to charge into the fire, to save at least something from the inferno. But the walls had already begun to crumble. He knew that if he went in, he might not come out again. The weight of that choice pressed heavily on him. But even heavier was the pain etched across Sam's face. And then, in the midst of her grief, realization struck Sam with a cold clarity. This was no accident. The smell of gasoline lingered in the air, undeniable, sinister. Her gaze hardened through the blur of tears. She thought of the envy in her stepmother's eyes, of the bitterness she had long sensed but never confronted. It was betrayal. Family turning against her, love punished simply for existing. As the farm crumbled in flames, something new ignited within her, not despair, but determination. This fire would not consume her spirit. It would mark the beginning of a fight she could no longer avoid.
Hello, xin chào tất cả các khán giả của kênh Lý Tử Sam Review. Vậy là trong tập phim ngày hôm nay thì mẹ kế của Sam và em gái là con riêng của mẹ kế đã biết được có vị trí nông trại mà Sam và Lee đang ở là ở đâu, và bà ta đang có một kế hoạch độc ác, đó chính là sẽ đốt cháy nông trại của Sam. Liệu rằng Sam và cảnh sát Ni có phát hiện ra được âm mưu đen tối này của bà ta để ngăn cản kịp thời hay không? Tất cả sẽ được hé lộ vào các tập tiếp theo, sẽ được phát sóng hàng ngày trên kênh Lý Tử Sam Review. Các bạn hãy đón xem nhé. Cảm ơn các bạn rất nhiều. Xin chào và hẹn gặp lại các bạn vào các tập tiếp theo. Các bạn đừng quên hãy bấm vào nút đăng ký kênh để ủng hộ mình nhé. Bye bye!